Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. We are on the road, but we have a show for you today. First, Luigi Mangione goes to court. What is going to happen in the Karen Reed hearing next week? One of P. Diddy's attorneys quits, this day in legal history, and our dumb criminal of the day. Let's talk about it.
All right, lawyer.
Good day, everyone. My name is Scott Reich, and this is Crime Talk. Thanks for joining us. You know the drill. Subscribe if you haven't, like if you do, leave me a comment below, and hit that little bell for notifications so you receive word when we go live or put up new content. Now, before we get to the docket, go to crimetalksearch.com, sign up, and get that background subscription service today. When you do, you're going to be able to do a background search on as many people as you desire so that you can find out the relevant information that you need to know about somebody. And I'm telling you, I am here in Arizona and we are doing investigation on a homicide case, and we used crimetalksearch.com to go and locate people. In fact, when I get done with this, we're going to go knock on some doors. So we use it in real life. crimetalksearch.com. You're going to be happy you did. All right, let's go ahead and get to the docket today. It is Friday, February 21st, 2025. And first on the docket, Luigi Mangione. He appeared in state court today, the first time that he's been in court since his December arraignment on state murder charges. Now, obviously, the Mangione has pled not guilty to the multiple counts of murder, including murder and an act of terrorism. Back in regards to the December 4th killing of Brian Thompson. That's right, the United Healthcare CEO outside of a Midtown Manhattan hotel. Now, obviously, Brian Thompson was ambushed and shot on the sidewalk as he walked to an investors conference. That's right, he was shot in the back. And obviously, Luigi Mangione's been charged and is the suspect. Now, there's not only state murder charges, there are federal charges as well. They're going to run a parallel track, which is a little unusual, but not impossible to do. And it's certainly not illegal to do that. But the thing that was really surprising when it came to Luigi Mangione, well, you can imagine it was all of the people that went to show up for Mr. Luigi Mangione. That's right. Everyone wanted to see him in court, and take a look at that. All of those people lining up to see Luigi Mangione, I guess his fan club. I don't know. They were a bunch of goo-goo-eyed groupies waiting to see Luigi Mangione as they stood in freezing temperatures to try and get a spot in the courtroom. I'll never, ever, ever understand this, ladies and gentlemen. I don't get it. But what can you do? That's what's going on. Next on the docket, Karen Reed. Now, I've been looking at, Twitter, and there are two camps when it comes to Karen Reed. Some people think that the prosecutor's in trouble, and I think anybody that knows what's going on realizes it's the defense attorneys that are potentially in trouble. Now, let me give you why we think that there's going to be this issue next week, and it's going to be defense attorney. In fact, I would say the defense attorney, Mr. Jackson in this case, he needs to show up with an attorney because, in all honesty, I think he may have some Fifth Amendment issues. And he may not want to say anything that is going to get him in further trouble. He literally needs to show up with an attorney to do the talking on his behalf. So the judge issued an order yesterday. It says notice to appear for continued hearing on February 25th, 2025 at 11 a.m. The court will reconvene the hearing that began on February 18th, 2025. Counsel should be prepared to address issues related to defendant's recent production pursuant to Rule 14, especially as the materials produced relate to prior representations made to the court on the record by defense counsel concerning the ARCA witnesses. In addition, because the Commonwealth referenced a transcript of a hearing on June 10th, 2024. At that hearing on February 18th, 2025, the Commonwealth is to provide a copy of that transcript to the defense and the court by close of business on February 21, 2025. Now, there's some people that hate this judge that's presiding over the Karen Reed case. I get it. I don't think she's a great judge, but she is pissed right now. Why? Because she feels as though she has been lied to and there were misrepresentations made to the court. Now, as you may recall, um, the lead prosecutor in this case now, Mr. Hank Brennan, had come to find out that, hey, when he was preparing for this case and uh, came across some issues that were relevant as it related to the experts that testified at the first trial. That's this ARCA um, organization, ARRCA. Coincidentally, their Twitter site or X site was taken down as of yesterday. But the where it gets very interesting is that at some point the defense turned over some emails between the witnesses that testified in the first hearing that maybe they weren't being completely candid with the court and the public per se, because as you may recall, there was the issue that at trial, basically the defense attorneys were asked, Mr. Jackson was asked that, are you saying you're going to call these witnesses that you've never talked to, you've had no relationship for? Yes, yes, yes. Well, it turned out the defense attorney, Mr. Jackson, and the ARCA representatives had been communicating. Well, that's a misrepresentation to the court. And if they're your experts, guess what? You have to endorse them as such. You have to be able to put out there what information they've been provided. What did they review? What did they do for preparation time? How much have they been paid? Also, it was disclosed that there may have been a bill for the Reed's defense team for some $23,925. Now, I've seen a lot of people that have said this judge is just out to get the defense. She may not like Karen Reed. Frankly, Karen Reed's kind of an unlikable person when you see interviews around her. And don't get me wrong, I would have said not guilty on the first case because I think it was tried so poorly by the prosecution. But now it looks like there was a little deeper situation going on there. And guess what? That's right. The defense attorneys, they may want to show up with attorneys themselves because they have some explaining to do. And I'm not sure how you get around this situation as a defense attorney where you basically, let's call it what it is, a misrepresentation to the court, known by other people as a lie. Somebody lied to the court, to the public, to the jury. So I'm not sure how they're going to get around it. Wouldn't surprise me if there's going to be a few more people seated at the defense table when this hearing takes place next week, and it's going to be attorneys for the defense attorneys. Now, understand, Mr. Jackson, he is an attorney from California, permitted pursuant to the Pro Hoc Vice statute to be admitted to practice there in Massachusetts. If that goes away, because it's subject to the court's approval, guess what? Karen Reed may be sitting there at the defense table by herself. Next on the docket, one of Sean P. Diddy Do It Combs' lawyers filed a motion to withdraw from Sean Combs' case. Now, Anthony Rico did not provide a reason for his request, in which he wrote, under no circumstances can I continue to effectively serve as counsel for Sean Combs, according to the affidavit that he filed with his motion to withdraw. Now, a judge will need to grant Mr. Rico's motion before he's officially removed from the case, and Combs will still have 5 other attorneys defending him in his federal sex trafficking case. Now, a judge will still need to grant Rico's motion before he can officially be removed from the case, but don't worry, Mr. Combs still has 5 other attorneys defending him in the case. Now, in the affidavit, Rico says he did not want to divulge information protected by the attorney-client privilege. When explaining why the request was so brief, he did note that he came to the decision after speaking with the other lead attorneys in this case. Specifically, the motion said this motion to withdraw of counsel, if granted, will not result in a delay of the present schedule for the commencement of a jury selection and trial or the present schedules for briefing of pretrial legal issues. As a result, there will be no lapse in representations, and Sean Combs will continue to be represented by 5 other attorneys of record. Usually 2 things: attorney conflict, Larry, he just has to get off ethically. He couldn't do it. Maybe he was so offended by it. Maybe he became aware of something that he doesn't want to participate in. Or the other alternative is he's not getting paid. That's usually one of the big reasons why that is the case. But maybe that is not the case. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe we'll never know. But don't worry. Sean Combs has got 5 other attorneys. All right, this day in legal history, February 21st, 1868, President Andrew Johnson attempts to remove the Secretary of War. That's right, President Andrew Johnson ordered the removal of the Secretary of War, Edwin Stanton. This action led to Johnson's impeachment by the House of Representatives for violating the Tenure of Office Act, marking the first impeachment of a United States president. And on this date in 1965, civil rights leader Malcolm X was assassinated while speaking at the Audubon Ballroom in New York City. And in 1975, former Attorney General John Mitchell and former White House aide H.R. Haldeman and John D. Ehrlichman were sentenced for their roles in the Watergate scandal cover-up. Obviously, these convictions underscored the principles that not even the highest officials are above the law, reinforcing the rule of law in governmental affairs. And on this date in 2005, the United States Supreme Court did something bold. It's called the United States v. Booker. And it basically said that what was believed to be was the mandatory federal sentencing guidelines were simply advisory. That's right. Granted, the judges who have life tenure, who you would think would be trusted to make big decisions. The United States Supreme Court decision, United States v. Booker, gave those federal district court judges greater discretion in impacting the criminal justice system and punishment. And then finally, our dumb criminal of the day. A Florida man told police he couldn't go to jail because he has a curfew. That's right. He's our dumb criminal of the day. The man from Winter Haven, Florida, was already on probation, and now he is behind bars after it was alleged that he interfered with a first responder at the scene of a car crash. Usually not something you want to necessarily get involved with, needless to say. Anyway, the man reportedly got angry and got into the officer's face when asked more questions about this crash that was taking place. When the officers asked him to back away so everyone can do their job, he responded by telling the officers that he can't tell him what to do. The deputy then explained that, well, he can because he was impeding an investigation and he needed to be able to step back or he was going to be arrested. And the guy responded, "I'm on an ankle monitor with a curfew. You can't take me anywhere." Well, needless to say, our unidentified young man, he was arrested. And they don't care if you have an ankle monitor, and they don't care that you have other things that you should be doing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we have for today. It was a quick show. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next time on Crime Talk. And remember, the Constitution matters.